robust urban garlic flavor.
I can't with Phil. I can't. It's just too ridiculous. He goes on a 40-minute long rant about how his pre-order got canceled on the Nintendo Switch 2, and it's just so unbelievable. Like, whatever the reason for it, it's his fault, but he's gonna spend 40 minutes blaming everybody else but himself because he's Phil. He can do no wrong. Absolutely nothing he ever has done is wrong. He's always correct legally. So here's Phil to tell you more about it. And of course, there's going to be robust, tangy commentary sprinkled within.
When people tell me that I am paranoid, that I have become shell shocked, and I'm like really just scared because I tell you guys, I limit my content to what I'm actually doing in this room. All right. That means that any content that I make, I'm recording, I'm streaming, whatever it is, comes from this place right here, and that TV, and that PC, or those consoles, and these cameras. This is the content that I put on the internet.
Phil, one, you weren't always like that. Two, what you were saying is very typical. Usually, streamers just stream in one room and leave it at that. You're making a big deal out of nothing.
And if you ask, well, I don't get it. Why? Why, Phil, is that all that you do? Couldn't you do vlogs of your house? Why don't you go cook a meal in your kitchen? Why don't you do an IRL stream following you around town to see what you do on a daily basis? Why don't you record a grocery trip and show us what you buy? They call it a grocery haul or something like that video. It's very popular, right? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? All right.
Any of those things would be more entertaining than what Phil currently does. Hey everybody, here's DSP doing a DSP tries it from his kitchen in his Washington residence in 2018. Don't believe me? Watch this clip here.
Ladies and gentlemen, Phil here, and welcome to a new edition of DSP Tries It. It's the first edition I've done in several months. There's just honestly, at the end of 2017, early 2018, there just hasn't been a lot going on in the realm of food around here that I've been too interested in covering for you guys. But finally, due to demand of my viewers, we have a new item, ladies and gentlemen. I decided I would go out and check it out. Ladies and gentlemen, Mexican fries.
Okay, thanks Phil, you can shut up now.
Now, for most people, these things seem like commonplace things, harmless, interesting, even ideas of variety content that Phil could put out on the internet and would get him attention and views and support from his followers.
It would certainly get a lot more views than Hello Kitty Adventure Island Part 69.
However, what you don't understand, very simply put, is that commonplace things for everyone else become actual IRL harassment, becomes things that can actually hurt myself, my family, my livelihood. You guys have no concept of how many idiots have tried to hurt me over the years.
I'm gonna eyeball it and guess about 220 people. Oh, and mind you, this is all about how he is not able to get a Nintendo Switch 2 at the moment. Believe it or not.
I've been around for over 17 years as a content creator. You wouldn't even want to hear the half of it, of the stuff that's been done to me and the attempts that have been made to try to screw with my life.
I think my favorite one was when he did the hoary neck phones and he thought Amazon stole it from him or something. He thought he got porch pirated, but then they actually showed up because he's Phil.
Insane stuff, like ridiculous, over the top crap you wouldn't believe. How about they tried to actually get my wife and I divorced by trying to file divorce papers, even though neither of us actually did it? I wish that was a joke, but it's not. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's just one example. That's the tip of the iceberg. All right.
Well, somebody sent a copy of Big Dave's coloring book to his house addressed to his wife, so yeah, I buy that happened. People really want to see him get divorced from Kat. I mean, like, whatever.
And I've used this example before, but I'll say it again. Many years ago, I was in my kitchen vlogging, okay, just filming around my kitchen, doing a vlog. I don't remember what it was. There happened to be a utility bill sitting on my countertop. Now, was the bill opened? Did it have all of my account information and everything on it? No, it was just the envelope. All it said on it was, like return address, here's the utility company. That's it. That's all you could see in the video. And keep in mind, this was before I was even doing the quality I'm doing now. I was using a crappy camera that was like, not even 720p quality or anything. These people used software, okay, to engineer the video to hyper fixate or whatever you want to say to see the address of the utility company. They then contacted the utility company using common knowledge of information that was doxed about me on the internet, including my name, my address, my phone number, stuff that I never originally put on the internet, but they did. Okay. They socially engineered the account and were going to have all of my power turned off and have my account closed, unbeknownst to me. And this actually would have happened if they didn't actually send me an confirmation email saying, hey, Mr. Burnell, thanks for all your requests. And as of Monday, that'll be done. And I said, what? And of course, I contacted them. I told them what was going on. They then put into effect safeguards so that can't happen ever again. Multiple levels of identity verification, authorization, etc. Okay? So that's just a couple examples of things that have been done to me over the years that normal people never would have to be bothered.
I mean, like, here's the thing. What YouTuber leaves bills out when they're making a video? Like, come on. Like, are you that stupid, Phil? And like he knows like this was like Sons of Kojima era or even after it where he knows that there's an insane amount of trolling revolving around him. And he's like, "Oh, I'll just be careless and leave something out there." It's like, "Phil, you're basically uploading a video of yourself in boxers at that point. That's what you're doing. You're leaving it out for everybody to see. And when you leave something out, people are going to use it. Like, it reminds me of something like I saw somebody post their credit card on Twitter, and the whole replies of it was basically people ordering stuff from that. This is basically what Phil is doing, but he doesn't realize it. Like, he takes no steps to safeguard his personal information unless it's WWE champions.
Imagine if you got married and you just told people on the internet, hey, I got married. Do you think people would then try to contact places to get your marriage annulled or a divorce paper filed? Right? But that's the situation I'm in. Insane people of the vortex.
Phil, it's called the Snortex.
That vortex around me of completely mentally ill people. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if you're involved in a drama vortex on the internet, you are mentally stunted. Period.
Welcome to the 220 Zone, starring Philip Paul Burnell.
If you involve yourself in that vortex, you are a mentally stunted individual and you should seek professional help. Normal people don't do that because normal people have lives. Normal people have jobs, friends, relationships, and positive things that they do. And that's what they focus their time on.
Well, I guess I need to seek professional help because I'm mentally stunted or something. Send Gatorade in the comment sections down below.
They don't focus their time on trying to ruin the life of an internet content creator who they don't know, don't have interaction with, and don't actually know the real story on, but they just follow a bunch of people on the internet who crap on them daily like a Pied Piper, the morons following them around so that they can make a buck.
Phil fundamentally does not understand that the internet sees that he's a giant douche. His psyche would snap in half if he realized that.
So it's this simple. I can't do things that most other people do because of a level of mentally ill people who stalk me on the internet and try to mess with me. Things that would obviously be feasible for someone else is just like an insane task for me because of the level of liability that I have doing it.
Help! Phil can't go out of his house because of the trolls. He can't get out of his gated community because of the trolls.
Right now, if I were to take a camera and to walk through my home, literally by the end of today, I would probably have 20 things happening to me that are heinous. Seriously.
Yeah, we'd all find out that Phil has like a zoo in his house with an African gray. We'd all be laughing. Come on, show us the bird, Phil. We want to see the bird.
And I wish that that's a joke. It's not. Okay? Like, literally, this would be happening. All right? So, why am I telling you all of this?
Because you're a 220 man.
Well, because last night, live on stream, while I was building this piranha plant Lego, which, by the way, is looking pretty cool. I actually wish we had gotten further, but because I had to do the Switch 2 pre-order, we didn't get to do as far as I would like. As you can see, we're halfway done. This is 50% done with the build. It's the pipe, the stem, and the leaves actually move around and can be like maneuvered and positioned in a cool way. And a cool feature of this to show you, it has a door at the bottom.
So you can shove it right up your butt.
And what happens is it actually has a coin Lego that it comes with. So you can like put coins in and then you can press that and they fall out the bottom. Don't ask me what you would use that for.
Maybe you should make a whole theory video about it and it would get more views than your 500 gameplay videos.
But it's a nice feature. So it's half done. I really was hoping we were going to finish it, but the Switch 2 stuff took over a half an hour from the stream. So it looks like one more stream and we will wrap up the Piranha Plant.
This is what Phil does all the time with Legos. It makes absolutely no sense. He doesn't complete it on stream because he has to do like, oh, I can only spend 2 hours on this. So if he's not done, he'll scrap it and wait until the next stream. It just is like, who cares? It's like people don't want to see you building for like 5 straight streams. You're not a Lego streamer, Phil. We want to see you beg and rage.
Okay, I can't wait. Actually, next week we're going to finish it and it looks really cool. So anyway, last night, while we were doing the Lego stream building this guy, I went ahead and did my Switch 2 pre-orders. And basically what I should have done, quite frankly, if you want to know the truth, now I didn't think about it. I should have just said, guys, I'm going offline for 30 minutes. I'm going to go do my Switch pre-orders completely offline. This way, no one would know about them. No one can mess with them. Nothing.
But I'm Phil, and since I'm the guy that has to live stream me installing sound panels, I have to live stream everything because it's during that time and I want money for doing that because I'm lazy.
Now, a normal person would be like, why would I have to do that? That's not a big deal. You're just going to order your Switch. It's not a big deal. But me doing it immediately means that every mentally stunted, mentally challenged, mentally ill person on the internet comes after me and tries to figure out a way to ruin this for me.
And now let's get to the self-reflection moment of how did Phil get to this point? But he will never think about that because begging is just too easy.
Okay? Because you might say, well, what's the big deal about Phil having a Switch 2? Well, to be honest, I'm not impressed with the launch lineup. Mario Kart World is the one game I'm really interested in. I also wanted to try out that demo game that you have to pay like $10 for to try the technology out or whatever. But outside of that,
Phil wanted to beg off the Switch to launch. That's all. Because, hey, even if a demo costs $10, it's no sweat off Phil's bone. Because he can just beg his audience to pay him $100 to play it. That's the $90 in profit. That's how Phil thinks. It's not about if he likes the game or if he enjoys the game, it's how much money he gets. That's how he bases his enjoyment, is if you give him money or not. Because it's not about playing games, it's about giving Phil money. That's the whole point of a DSP stream. So if you watch it, but ironically, you're ass out.
no, not really, right? Like you don't really have to. There's not much that's going to happen with the launch of Switch 2. But for me, as a creator, to be able to unbox it live on launch day, to hook it up, to test it, that is primo content. That's the kind of content people come to expect from me from over the years. I did it with PS5.
This idiot thinks we expect anything outside of him begging. We don't expect shit from you except to rage and beg. That's all that's expected of you, and that's all that we want. You could Just stop playing games and just like stream from a cardboard box. That's what we want to see from you. That would be more entertaining than your gameplay. Your gameplay sucks.
I did it with PS4, Xbox One, right? I did it, back in the day with this with the Wii U. I did eventually do it with the Switch. I did it with my first Switch, and the Switch bricked, and then I had a second one. And eventually I did do that with the Xbox Series X, although it was late to the game because I didn't get it right away, right? This is the good content people like.
Okay, I'm gonna look up his unboxings, and I'm gonna bet you that he didn't hit 100K views on any of them.
Just arrived, okay? Just came in the mail about 20 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago. And I have it. We're going to do a live unboxing both of the Switch as well as Zelda Breath of the Wild, the only game that I purchased for it because it's the only damn game I'm really interested in tonight. Things a little bit differently around here, folks. Starting tonight, my streams are going to change a little bit. So if you're watching this on YouTube, enjoy it while you can, because unless a miracle happens, it looks like I may not be doing YouTube for much longer anymore. If you want full explanation of that, you got to head over to my vlogging channel. I made a big-ass video about it earlier today, all right? But tonight, live streaming the unboxing. I'm actually going to compare this to the Wii U, which I have right there. I kind of want to compare the size and weight and everything to the Wii U. Then I'm going to hook it up live. I'm going to actually have it hooked up live here. And then I'm going to turn it on and get the initial stuff going with it. And we're going to check out the different menus.
All right, thanks, Phil, for the riveting content. And like even in the Xbox One generation, where he was close to his peak, he couldn't crack 100,000 views. And it's like 22,000 people watched his Switch review, okay? And then he has to whine about how he's not being on YouTube anymore during. Like, hey, you want to follow me? I'm not going to be on YouTube anymore. Wow, that makes me want to subscribe.
They want to see that stuff up front, especially if you couldn't get the pre-order. Gee, let's see what it's like on launch day, and let's get Phil's honest opinion on it, right? So, that's why. It's not necessarily because I'm going to be making insane amounts of content of the Switch 2. I would play Mario Kart World very heavily, but outside of that, there's nothing else till Donkey Kong, and then after that, there's probably nothing else, quite frankly, for the end of the year. But, it's still great content that you guys want, right?
Yeah, so while any other streamer would think that the Switch 2 launch would be a great way to expand their audience, Phil knows he's already cooked, so he's just going to bleed his audience dry. It's like, hey, you want a Switch 2 reveal? You're going to have to hit that goal. Well, you got to raise $1,200 to get a Switch 2 unboxing from me, Phil. And then you're going to have to pay me $500 the day of.
So, that's why I planned it out. I literally had created accounts on every single site. Best Buy, Target, Amazon, Walmart, had them all lined up, had everything ready to go. All the payment information was in there. The addresses were in there. So when these pre-orders went live, I could do it. And I did. I tried all of them. Best Buy crapped out, didn't work. Target, I had it in cart, wouldn't check out. But Walmart, I got. Walmart was in the cart. Not only one, but the two different versions, the base Switch 2 and the Switch 2 bundle. So I'm thinking, wow, I can maybe have one for personal use here for the business, and one, maybe I can give it to my wife. Maybe I can give it away to a fan. It's a backup. Because remember, when I bought the Switch 1, it bricked within 24 hours, and I was stuck without a Switch for several months because of that. To have the backup is absolutely awesome, okay? That's a great thing. So it's like, not only did I get one, I lucked out and was able to get another one, all right?
Yeah, so Phil is an idiot and he posted his confirmation email live. If you want to see that particular clip, I have it in the last video that I did on this. I'll just put a tab link to it here. But I'm not going to play that clip again because this video was already going to be like an hour plus long anyways. But people did some digging, and because with the last generation, like the PS5 and the Xbox Series were like scalped ridiculously, especially during the pandemic, that Nintendo took anti-scalping measures in place. So apparently you could only buy one console per household from a specific retailer. So Phil actually bought two from Walmart. And so the trolls went digging and they found that Walmart probably canceled his order instead of what he said. He went going crying to the internet and saying, "Hey, look, the trolls canceled my order." And Either way, it's your fault, Phil, because you posted the confirmation email. You could have just said, I got it from somewhere. You're such an idiot. And, like, let's be real. If this was his WWE Champions account, he wouldn't show us shit. And, you know, the story is pretty much over here, but we got 30 minutes of Phil raging to go through because he is Phil. And he will never fess up to himself being a complete idiot. He's got to blame somebody else. So now it is scapegoat time.
But my problem is very simple. I still to this day try to maintain a level of normalcy. So because I did this online, immediately my online stalkers decided to ruin it for me. And basically, here's what happened, okay? It went through, done deal. Payment was charged, everything good.
And then it got canceled somehow because I posted the order number and left myself open for trolls, even though Walmart probably canceled it themselves.
So we went back to the stream and I completed, as far as I could, this build. We hit the goal. So that's great. Now we hit 30 goals hit, which means we're doing the Chipotle DSP tries it today. All right. And then basically around 9:45-ish. All right. I logged off and I said, all right, I got to get going. Now, a few things actually happened that you guys aren't aware of. Number one, because I bought the 2 Switch 2s, one of them went to my bank account, and I tried to do it for the second one, and my bank account thought it was a fraudulent transaction and froze my account. So I had to contact the bank to get the account unfrozen. It was really stupid, okay? The other one, I went through a different payment method, all right? That's how I got both Switch 2s. So actually, the orders were a little staggered. One checked out at one point and one checked out at another point via different payment methods, okay? So as soon as the stream went offline, I had to sit and wait on hold, all right, for like 40 minutes with my bank to get the bank account unfrozen so that I could do other things and pay bills and things, okay? So as that's happening, I'm doing other things. I actually filmed the daily wrap, and the first daily wrap I filmed was like triumphant. Wow, what a great day. We had an amazing stream of Oblivion, and we hit my goals. We built the Lego, and we hit the goals. I got my Switch 2's pre-order. Amazing day. So I finished recording that, all right? And I was actually about to start like uploading while I was on hold with my bank. And all of a sudden, I get an email, and it says, you have successfully canceled your order. And I said, what? And I started reading the email from Walmart, and it says, congratulations, you have successfully canceled your Switch 2 pre-order. And I looked at it, and it was the first Switch 2, the one that was the base unit, not the bundle, but the first one that I had checked out and paid for. And I said, obviously, I did not do that. So the first thing I did is I logged in to my account, okay? The thing is, I have various ways to log into everything. I make sure that I'm not limited to only one way, all right? So I have all these backups, these, safeguards so that I can log into things multiple different avenues. So I logged into my Walmart account to find out that someone had access to it, okay? And I could tell because they changed the password on the account, okay? In addition, they started messing with the account, meaning they were adding and removing things to my cart. So I'm thinking, how could this possibly have happened? All right. And as I'm doing that, trying to figure it out, they canceled my second Switch 2 pre-order right in front of me. And I'm like, wow, well, this is pretty messed up. So, of course, I try to contact customer support, and I tried to get them on the phone, and I'm not even kidding. They hang up on you. You call and you get to the automated system, and you go through, and you say, okay, I want to talk to a rep because none of your automated options are going to help me here. And they say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you just said. And then the phone hangs up. And I tried it 3 different times in a row, and that's how they treat you on the line. They hang up on you at Walmart.
At that point, why even bother picking up the phone?
Do you see why I don't like to do business with Walmart? And I've said this before, they're just a really bad company to deal with. So I ended up going to their chat service, okay? And going through their chat service, of course, you talk to someone at a customer service center on the other side of the planet, but they're doing their best to help you. So I start to explain the situation. All right. And of course, they're utterly confused. They don't know if I'm contacting them to complain about the orders canceled. They don't know if I'm contacting them to find out how someone has access to my account. So their head is spinning. And this is just someone in a call center who's trying to help me basically with a notebook or step-by-step instruction fact on how to deal with customers. And they don't have any idea how they're supposed to help me. Okay. They don't. So basically, they had to go get their supervisor involved. And after a lengthy discussion, here's what we verified. Someone contacted Walmart basically saying they were me. They had my name, my address, my phone number, my email, public information. Not that that should be public information. It shouldn't, but it is because people doxed me 10 years ago, right? My address and phone number were doxed by trolls on the internet a long, long time ago, and it never should have been public information, but it is. Okay? So, should Walmart have been able to grant access to a third party with that information? No, and I confirmed that. They absolutely should never have done that. It should have only been done via the methods that I have set up, including, like a text message code or an email to a different unassociated email address with a confirmation code, or using a third-party app to have a specialty authenticity code, all these methods. But someone who works at Walmart wasn't that smart and said, oh, I'll just believe you. And they sent the person through, I think it was like a chat, the authorization code, which you're not supposed to do. So my account was socially engineered. Because when people say, what does social engineering mean? It means that despite the fact that you have things in place to stop unauthorized access, some moron does the wrong thing because they believe a lie. Someone says they're someone else and with very basic information tries to prove it, and an employee is just dumb enough to believe it and does something they're not supposed to do, granting access to that unauthorized party. So someone was sent a code that they were not supposed to be sent. They then logged into my account. They canceled the 2 Switch 2 pre-orders. They changed the password on the account. And then they were in the process of adding things to cart because they were going to try to buy things that I didn't want to screw with my money.
Okay, that's a lot to pick apart. And the reason I just let that run for like 6 minutes, because it just sounds so ridiculous and like just long-winded. Like, here's the thing he could have just said. I got hacked, my Switch order got canceled. That's all you need to say. But Phil, it's always an adventure time where he has to go explain it, and he wonders why that his streams are not interesting whatsoever. Like, if he really wanted to be as long-winded as that, he could have just made a video about it. But here's the thing, I'm very skeptical of his explanations of the event. It just doesn't make any sense. And we have it here, like he said that he was doxxed, but apparently somebody, as I showed in that image before, was going to use his regular Hotmail email that we all know. But apparently it was a different Gmail account, so he was being smart for once and using multiple email accounts. And his story just makes no sense. Like, it got canceled right in front of me. While I was on the website, it got canceled. Like, it's just too dramatic. Like, he's up all night. It doesn't make any sense. And, like, congratulations, your order has been canceled. Like, I'm tempted to put, like, an order in from Walmart and then just canceling it and see what they say if it actually says congratulations, but it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, that would be what they would put there. It's just a whole bunch of nothing. It just feels like he's just padding it and over-explaining it to cover his ass. Like, I'm very skeptical. I'm more likely to say that Walmart just canceled his order. Like, it just makes no sense whatsoever. Because he's just going on and on and on, and it's like, If he just said my order got canceled, like I'd buy it. But it's like he has to go on and on. It's like he's telling on himself.
Okay. So basically, I got I got control of the account through the real methods that you're supposed to use. I was able to change the password, and by setting up another level of authorization, it kicked them out. So they don't have access anymore. They were literally like removed, kicked out, timed out of their session on the account.
So let's say Phil has two-factor already enabled. How are they able to get into the account without Phil noticing?
And now I have access and ownership of the Walmart account again. Not that it makes any difference, because of course, once all of that happened, I said to the customer service, well, what do we do now? And they said, there's nothing we can do. Switch 2 sold out. You're out of luck. The best we can do is give you a credit on your account, which they did. They actually gave me a credit against my account. Like, what's the point of that? I'm not getting the Switch 2. So for your inconvenience, here's a credit to your account, and we'll let you know when the Switch 2 is back in stock so that you can order it. That's what they said. Oh, well, we'll put you on the list and you'll get a notification from us when the Switch 2 comes back in stock.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like, a credit sounds like something GameStop would do. Like, Walmart, they could just refund it. Like, they just go back to the card that you charged it on. It's like, here's your refund. Because if your order got canceled, they just refund it. Like, why would they credit it? It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add up. It just sounds like Phil is exaggerating to make himself look like a victim instead of being like, hey, I ordered too many Switches and they canceled it and I'm an idiot for that and I shot myself in the foot. I don't want to admit that I did something stupid.
So let me get this straight. Someone at your company is a dumbass and through completely illegal means granted access to my personal account and information, even though they weren't supposed to. And the thing you're going to do for me is give me a few bucks. Wow, that sounds like a real way to treat the customer, doesn't it? But again, I am the exception to the rule. I am the person who has this stuff happen. 99.999999% of the populace, this would never happen. And by the way, for the record, this person was trying to do this from the moment that I ordered the Switch 2s, which was around 9 p.m., till past 10 p.m. Like it took them a while to find someone who was gullible enough to believe them and give them access to the account. They had been trying to do it for over an hour before they finally found the sucker who believed them. So probably they did this 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times and kept backing out and trying again until finally they found someone stupid enough. Okay? So here's the thing. This is the problem with having customer support on the other side of the planet with people who don't understand shit, sitting in a call center looking at a step-by-step instructional guide on how to help someone, because they don't understand that people can actually do malicious things and mess with people's livelihood. Like, for example, thank God I got into the account when I did and I changed everything. They could have been adding things to my Walmart cart and checking out and spending my money. Now I would have had to catch that and cancel all those orders before they ship, or else now I'm responsible for returning a whole bunch of shit that I didn't want to order and I never authorized payment on.
Here's Phil making mountains out of molehills. And yeah, outsourcing is a whole other thing that he doesn't need to bring into. It's like, come on, Phil. Come on, this makes no sense. And it's like, oh, this is my livelihood. It's like, dude, you got your Switch 2 pre-order canceled. It's not a huge deal. It's a huge deal for you because you lost out on that day one hype because your dents would have just given you like $1,000 that day. And you're like, oh shit, I spent $900 when I should have just spent $450. Or like he bought two bundles. Probably bought the Mario Kart one and the regular one. But now he has nothing. And now he's got to blame Walmart. And like to be fair, Walmart should have only let him pre-order one Switch, but if he used two different payment methods, it probably let him go through because it thought it was somebody else, and then it got flagged in the system because it was either the same name or something, and then it got canceled. That's probably what happened. Phil stuck his hand in the cookie jar and it got snapped, and now he's raging against the trolls at Walmart because he can't admit that he tried to do something stupid.
So I want you to think about how messed up this is, okay? Now, I am going to say something, and I've had enough of this shit, okay? Since last night, I announced that this had happened to me, okay? Every motherfucker on the planet is trying to blame me, all right? You showed an email, you showed an order number, you said it was Walmart, you said it was... Now listen, again, I will admit this. I should have just gone offline to do this. I never should have said I got it from Walmart. I never should have done any of that. I should have said, I'm going to pre-order and I'll be back. And I should have just ran break stuff, break music and slides, instead of sitting here doing it and telling you guys the process, because I thought it was kind of exciting and you guys were excited to see if I was going to get it or not, right? So I thought it would be good content, and it was good content, quite frankly. People liked it who were on the stream. But God forbid that I make good content, right? Because I'm not allowed. If I do that, I'm at risk. And this is the point I keep making to you guys. This is why I can't go film in my house. I can't do IRL vlogging. I can't do any of that shit, because that stuff is an actual risk. So the fact that I sat here saying, oh, I'm pre-ordering from Walmart. Oh, here's the confirmation email. That literally put me at risk because they could socially engineer the account. All right?
All this idiot had to do was not show the confirmation email and he would have been fine. If that was the case that the trolls hacked him. Now, what's more likely what happened is that he ordered 2 switches and Walmart flagged it. But he can't admit that because he can never be wrong, because he's a narcissist. Because you can never tell Phil that he did something wrong. So he's going to freak out and blame everybody else except for him. He did nothing wrong. It was your fault because he couldn't get a Nintendo Switch.
Now, all the moronic shit that the tinfoil hat wearing idiots are saying, go fuck yourselves. All right? No, Walmart didn't cancel my pre-orders because I ordered 2 Switches and there's a 1 Switch per household policy. That never happened. No, 100% fucking false. It was outright canceled by someone who had access to my account. They were adding shit to my cart and they changed my password, you dumb fucks. All right? You're fucking insane. Let's blame Phil in every situation. And even on top of that, anyway, it's still a crime that was committed. Even if I told you I ordered from Walmart, it's still a fucking crime to impersonate someone's identity. It's called identity fraud, identity theft. It's a fucking federal crime. And this is like the 10th time it's happened to me. This happened to me with accounts years ago, and that's why I had to redo my entire fucking bank account and all of that shit. It happened with my utilities. Now it happens again. This social engineering and identity fraud is a huge fucking problem, and no one out there is equipped to handle it. None of these companies understand the level that people will go to fuck with someone just because they're mentally ill. So they have no real safeguards against it. At any moment, any employee of any company could be a moron and grant access to all of your shit. Even if you have 1-factor, 2-factor, 3-factor, 7-factor authorization, you have apps that authorize, it doesn't matter. They say, oh, okay, I believe you. Here's a code. Go ahead. There's nothing you can do. So what I have to do moving forward, I know how insane this sounds. From now on, I literally have to not make anything public that involves anything like this. Phil's going to do a pre-order. All right, guys, I'll see you later. I'll be back. That's just it. There's nothing that I can do about it. It's just insane. And again, oh, well, this is Phil's fault. How?
So here is the pre-order information if you bought it from Nintendo directly. They limit you to 1 Switch only. So that's probably the case for most of the retailers, but let's try and see what Walmart says. Here's Walmart's website. It says, we may have canceled your order if it exceeded our rules for quantity and bulk purchases. Walmart.com reserves the rights to limit the quantity of items purchased per person, household, or order. These restrictions may apply to orders placed by the same Walmart account, using the same credit card, gift card, and/or checking account, and orders that use the same billing and/or shipping address. So what does that tell us? Nintendo probably told all those retailers that are selling the Switch in the US, you got to limit it to one per person, and that's probably why they canceled Phil's order. So let's now move on to Phil's refund claim. And you can see up here, it will refund directly to the card. So the store credit thing, he's making it up. So that can tell you that Phil is lying in at least some capacity about this. I think he's lying about everything. Like, I think Walmart canceled his order because he ordered two. Sorry, Phil, no two Switches for you. Which means less champions polls.
How is it my fault exactly? Tell me how someone actually committing a crime is my fault. Oh, you showed an email. What's your fucking point, you incredible mouth drooler? You incredible brainless twit. So what if I showed an email? That doesn't give someone the right to impersonate me, say that they're me, fool a customer service rep into thinking they're me to get access to my account, cancel orders, put things in my car, and change my password. That's all illegal. You fucking moron.
Well, here's the thing, man. You should have known that the trolls would have done something like this if that was actually the case. Like, come on. You went on this whole spiel about how you had to protect yourself. But of course, you're probably blaming the detractors and the trolls and lying again.
So, what does this mean? How do I proceed? And what do we do? Okay?
All right, Magic Conch. What do we do now?
Nothing.
Well, first off, the pre-orders are all done. Just for the record, it's sold out everywhere. I try, you couldn't even get Target to work. I had it in my cart at Target. It never worked. They just air it out endlessly and you could never buy it. Best Buy didn't work. They didn't launch at 9 p.m. like they were supposed to. They launched at like 9:20, 9:30. It aired out repeatedly and almost no one could get it from there either. Okay? I tried GameStop this morning. Their website wouldn't even work. I tried the app. Their app aired out. And by the time that it finally loaded again, it just said, oh, not available. So I can't buy it through official means. And the thing is, I want to.
There actually is one more way you can get a Switch 2. It's directly through Nintendo. You have to have a Nintendo Switch Online account, and you have to have 50 hours played on your Switch, and you have to share that information with Nintendo by May 8th to be part of a lottery. So I'm sure Phil is going to do that. So I might as well just put mine in too to dilute the playing field.
You have to understand something, all right? I wanted to buy the Switch 2. I had every intention of paying my own hard-earned money to get the Switch 2. These crazy criminals, these mentally stunted morons, are the reasons why I can't just do normal shit through normal means like everyone else. That's all I wanted to do was just buy a Switch so I could do it as a launch coverage like I am entitled to as a content creator. Like every other human who has money, I should have been able to do it. But instead, I have to have federal crimes committed against me. All right? So, I don't know what else to say. It's fucked up. It's a fucked up situation. So, number one, I'm just going to tell you this. All right? I'm going to make this abundantly clear. No longer am I going to listen to or entertain any moron or idiot who says, Phil, you over-exaggerate. Phil, you make stuff up. Phil, you do this for sympathy. You do this because you want free shit. I don't want anyone to donate anything to me. Do you understand what I'm telling you? I wanted to buy the Switch 2 last night. That ability to just make an actual commercial transaction was taken away from me.
It's hard being Phil, guys. It's hard being Phil. I think he thinks that he's the only person on the planet who did not get a Switch 2 that wanted to get a Switch 2 right away. Like, this reminds me of the Lechero episode that came out with Phil and the Wolverine figure. Go watch that, it's hilarious. It has wigs in it. as the bus driver, and it's like everybody at the school has a Wolverine figure except for Phil, and Phil can't take it. He calls his parents idiots. Like he probably still holds a grudge against his parents for not giving him a Wolverine figure.
I wasn't saying, hey, everyone, please buy me a Switch 2. Please donate a Switch 2. No, I wanted to buy it, and they wouldn't let me. Do you get it? How fucked up that is? I work hard. People support my content because they like it. I earn money that I should be able to spend on whatever I want. I shouldn't have to worry about pussyfooting around, being incredibly afraid that I say or do something that might jeopardize myself or my family's privacy.
Dude, you wouldn't have to worry about people scrutinizing you playing a mobile game and spending hundreds of thousands of dollars if you didn't beg your audience for money constantly. It's your fault.
Or have someone commit a federal crime to impersonate me to try to fuck with me and my livelihood. You get it? Like, that should never happen in any circumstance. It's not okay in any way, shape, or form, in any time or place. It's not right. So enough with your, oh, Phil deserves it. Phil showed the email. Phil said he bought it for Walmart. Phil ordered 2 Switches. You're fucking stupid. You're the dumbest motherfucker on the planet. Kiss my fucking hairy ass.
No, you don't deserve a Switch 2 to scam your audience because you're a known scammer. You spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on a gotcha mobile game while telling your audience that you couldn't afford groceries. So yeah, if this actually happened to you like you said it is, it's messed up, but you deserve it. But really, it's like 99% certain that Walmart canceled your order on your own, and you're just hoping. It's like, well, the trolls must have done it.
Someone went out of their way to commit a federal crime to stop me from covering the launch of the Switch 2, and now it's time to fucking suffer. Because here's why you're gonna suffer, you dumb fuck. You ready for this? Why do you think I have been around for 17 years? Do you think it was chance? Do you think it was coincidence? Do you think that for some reason I just magically stayed?
Dude, I think you got really lucky, and I think you won't leave the internet because of your pride, and you don't want to do anything else besides beg for money.
Ladies and gentlemen, the reason that I'm still here after 17 years is one fucking word: perseverance. Get it? I don't give up. I don't fail or falter. I don't fall down on my knees crying, oh my God, it's all over. They got me.
Well, that's another lie because you do that all the time. You constantly complain about how the detractors and the trolls are destroying your business or try to destroy your business. Are you kidding me? You constantly. The level 1 podcast is the level 1 I'm gonna bitch for over an hour thing. That's what it is. That's what it always is, every single fucking day.
Instead, when people fuck with me, I use that as motivation to continue forward positively, to keep sticking to my guns, to keep doing what I know is the right thing to do. And that's why people still care about Darkside Phil in 2025. It's not because I sold out and became a shill like one half of the internet. And it's not because I became a toxic bully who gets into drama and awful content like the other half of the internet.
Oh my Jeebus. This guy has to shoehorn in, I'm better than everybody else in every one of his stupid rants. Like he says this, if not daily, he says this weekly. Like, I'm not a shill. Like, Phil, we have evidence of you shilling products. You're an idiot. You're lying. You're reinventing stuff. All you are is a scammer and an e-beggar and a guy that jerked off on May 1st. That's all.
It's because I am a man alone standing on an island making content the way no one else dares to.
Phil, there are plenty of people on the internet begging for money. Are you kidding me? Mostly it's eye candy. But the thing is, you don't have eye candy looks. So you gotta be even more pathetic.
To be different, to not hurt others, and to say no matter what you throw against me, you're not going to hurt me. I am the rock face upon which the waves crash, and I never fucking crumble. Get it?
Phil, that's not how erosion works. Water gradually takes the rocks down over time and breaks it down. That's how it works.
It doesn't matter what you do, what you fucking say. It doesn't matter how you portray me on the internet. I'm going to be here every day, streaming, making meaningful, positive content for my viewers and audience till the day that I decide I am done and I hang up the mantle of Darkside Phil, the streamer and content creator. I decide my destiny. I am the master of my own fate, and there's nothing any of you can do about it. You fooled someone in Pakistan or India into thinking you were me, and you logged into my account and you canceled my pre-orders. So what? I'm still here. I'm still streaming. I'm still going to play a game today. I'm still going to make content. I'm still going to make a living. And guess what? When people fuck with me, more people support me. You stupid, incredible, brainless idiot. When you mess with Darkside Phil, people rally to support Darkside Phil. That's why I'm still here 17 years later. Do you know what the King of Hate moniker meant? It didn't mean that I was a hateful individual who wanted to crap on others and be a bigot and a sexist and a racist and to insult Hideo Kojima like all the morons said it was. The King of Hate moniker is that when people hate against Phil Burnell takes all of that hatred and vitriol against him and he uses it as fuel. He throws it into his fucking engine and he burns it up and it propels him forward with energy and vigor to make positive content and to be successful. I own the hate against me and I use it to push forward positively and succeed. And that's why I'm here 17 years later. No matter how many morons have tried to end me, I'm still fucking here. I'm not going anywhere. Right now, I'm actually on a high. Things are going well for me.
It's the same stupid spiel over and over and over again. And he has to just insert it. He's not on a high. He's crumbling. He had less than 100 viewers on YouTube a week ago. He got exposed by his friends that he thought were actually going to help him, and even the dents are gone. It's 2 or 3 people holding you up, Phil. That's it. Everybody else is going to PWR or Raw Phil. They don't want to see you because you ban everybody. You're done. You're a cockroach.
Think about all the awesome stuff that's happened in the last year, the massive upgrades to my setup, the fact that I'm a successful co-streamer. I'm making money. I can afford all the things. I was going to buy 2 Switch 2s because I can afford them.
Dude, the only reason you have close to 400 people watching you right now is because you made a video whining about it. If you didn't make that video, you would have had less than 200 people right now. You're less popular than you've ever been.
I didn't have to do a special event to fundraise for it. I could just get them. I just became a verified and partnered streamer on Kick, and that's working out.
Yeah, it's working out so well. You got 220 person, 440 household, and Dark Side Bussy as your big fans. Can you believe that, Phil? You're doing so well on Kick. If memberships weren't on Kick, you would have already yeeted the chat.
All these things are working well for me. Do you get it? Well for me. So every time that you fuck with me, all you do is prove my point. I am not going to falter or fail. I'm going to continue. You are going to sit there and stew and cry and seethe and mope and cope and say, I can't believe it. Like the Grinch on Christmas morning when he looked down at Whoville and he said, Christmas still came, even without toys, even without the feast, even without all of those things. They're still happy. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter how you fuck with me. I'm still going to be here. I'm not going to give up.
Phil does not realize that he is literally the Grinch. He is the greedy son of a bitch that is not happy unless he has $1,000 to play on champions. He just doesn't get it. Like, he thinks he's like this underdog, but like he's only in this position because of himself. Like, he was so popular because he got in so early that he could have been a multi-millionaire and cashed out years ago. But he's still on level 1 because he's just a douchebag to everybody and his content is awful. He never innovated.
So many people have said to me over the years, Phil, why don't you give it up and throw in the towel? With all the things that's happened to you, that's documented, not even just the things you say, but the things that are public is crazy. We can only imagine the things that have happened behind the scenes that we don't even know about. How do you keep doing it? Well, maybe it's because I'm stubborn. Probably a big part of it. Again, I'm the kind of guy that my whole life, when someone looked at me and said, you can't do it, you're not good enough, you're a scumbag, you're an asshole, you're a jerk, this and that, I said, I'm glad you feel that way. Now I'm going to prove you wrong.
All right, Phil, thanks for the walk down memory lane. As you make up stuff and cope and things like that. Get wrecked, Phil.
And every single time in my life that it's happened, I've persevered. When in the Street Fighter community, they said all I was a big shit talker, and I was never going to put my money where my mouth was and actually win, I proceeded to win tournament after tournament after tournament after tournament in Super Turbo and show them all that I was great. And then they had nothing else to fucking say until people tried to erase that narrative and rewrite it years later on the internet.
Watch the Down from the Rabbit Hole on Phil Burnell. He got 4th place on a tournament that was boycotted because it was a glitched version. And he thought he was king of the world. Thanks, Phil. Ta-da!
The facts remains, I became a top-level tournament player despite the fact that everyone thought that I was just going to be a shit-talking scrub.
Wow, Phil placed whatever in a tournament 20 years ago. Who fucking cares?
On YouTube, everyone said, oh, Phil, you're a no one. Your quality sucks. No one likes your content because you're just a schlub. And I said, all right, fine. I'm glad you said that. And through the years, I constantly improved, changed, and became a better person. And now here I am in 2025, and I'm more successful now than I ever was. And you might say, what? I don't get it.
Phil is so fucking delusional that it's scary. Like, after people said his content was shit, he started falling off. He refused to actually do capture cards. He had to film off a TV because he was lazy and he didn't want to spend the money or like use a capture card or something. And he had to be kicked and pulled all the way into getting that. And by the time he lost most of his audience. And also because people realized that he was just a complete fucking tool and a douchebag. And he's like, I'm more popular than ever because I live off of 5 people and their disability checks. Yay! No, Phil, you're not a success. You're a joke. Like, that's why Raw Phil has double the amount of viewership as you, because people are there just to laugh at you. That's it. You're not this pioneer. You're not this innovator. You're a guy who got lucky and who has a completely swelled head that kept him here. And you're just the punching bag of the internet because we despise you because of how annoying you are, how pretentious you are, and how you think you're top shit. You think you're hot shit, and PWR is more entertaining than you. What does that say, Phil? What does that say?
Doesn't matter how many views you have. It doesn't matter how many people watch your content. What happens is how many people care about you and your content and support it.
You heard it from the horse's mouth right there. The only thing matters if there's 3 whales supporting you. Only iced coffee is the only thing that matters because at the end of the day, he makes sure that Phil can pull Hogan's.
I know that now. I'm much more successful and happy and positive in my life today, having a few thousand major supporters who love what I do, as opposed to back in the day when I had hundreds of thousands of people who were watching me, but no one was really supporting. They were just watching.
Hey, dumbass. There was no live streaming back then on YouTube that you can monetize. And you were making this up. You don't have thousands of supporters. You have a handful of supporters and people that are LARPing you. You had under 100 people watching you last week, Phil. It's only a handful of people that want to throw you money because you've manipulated and begged them for years. That's it. The rest of the people on the internet have just got bored of you, and all they know you as is the guy that jerked off on stream. That is your legacy. Like it or not, deal with it.
Get it? There's a big difference. But people don't get that. They don't understand. They actually are that ignorant. They don't get it.
Yeah, people don't understand why begging should be normalized and that you should play a mobile game while also saying that you need tips for groceries. Yeah, that should be normalized, okay? That's totally okay. It's okay to scam your audience. Thanks, Phil.
So here's the deal. Moving forward, I just have to be more careful. I have to be careful about what I tell you guys. I have to be careful about how I operate. I thought that I had been careful to the point where people were calling me paranoid. You're not going to do a cooking video in your kitchen? What are you, stupid and crazy? What could possibly happen? You're not going to do a vlog in your house. You're not going to go do this IRL video. Everyone else does it. You're just a coward. No, I'm not a coward. It's just that I'm one of the most abused people on the internet, and I know better. I'm not stupid. And so when you say, do a fan lobby night, do a this that involves the opportunity for someone to get in and fuck with people's information and fuck with your stream and fuck with.
Yeah, Phil has boxed himself in so much that the only people that want to interact with him are trolls. He's more trolled than Chris Chan at this point because Chris Chan has gone like AWOL. It's just Phil. He is the lolcow of the century, whether he likes it or not, because he won't turn the camera off. He's too stubborn. He wants that dopamine rush of those donations so he can go drink gin and play Hogan's.
No, shut the fuck up. I know better because I've been there, done that, and I've been through it. Almost 18 years. I know what I'm doing. Trust me.
Me beg, me lie, me drink gin, me spend money on champions, me do same thing each day, me work.
Stop fucking trying to demand things from me that don't make any goddamn sense because I'm the exception to the rule with this level of harassment that I get.
Let me remind you that he's going on this whole session because his Switch 2 pre-order got canceled. Most likely because of his own doing. He's gonna have to play make-believe with us. It's like a frickin' cult.
I'm not going to put up with this nonsense anymore of people telling me that I'm just paranoid and wrong when literally the one time that let's do something different on stream, let's open up, let's do the Switch 2 pre-orders, and then this fraud happens, blatant crimes and fraud. The first opportunity that I give, they take it. All right, so I'm not stupid. I'm just not putting up with this shit ever again.
Oh, Phil, you're such a 220 idiot.
So yeah, moving forward, don't expect me to be doing stuff like that live. Well, I'm taking a break. I'll come back in a few, and I'm not going to give you guys details of anything. All right? Now, rest assured, okay? Rest assured. I'm going to find a way to make this work. I don't know what it is right now. I'm being frank with all of you. I don't know.
He's gonna be like the rest of us and sell his ass on the street for a Switch 2. Because that's the only way people can afford it nowadays.
It seems like there's no legal way to buy the Switch 2 right now because they're all pre-ordered out. No one's going to magically find Switch 2 sitting around and say, oh, I can sell you this for launch day. But I'm going to figure out something. I'm going to tell you this. I'm not going to buy anything from a scalper. I refuse. I've told you adamantly how anti-scalper I am.
Let's be real. If he's desperate enough and he can't get his hands on a Switch 2, he's going to buy it from a scalper and say that he was gifted it. I totally see that as a possibility. Because he thinks the Switch 2 will give him big bucks that he can convert into PayPal for WWE champions and alcohol. Yay!
The entire thing that happened during the PS5 launch was an absolute freaking nightmare with scalping and all that. I would never buy a Switch 2 from a scalper simply because it just makes that process more viable, it supports that whole process. And I don't believe in scalping at all.
And here, for the first time in 40 minutes, Phil is actually making sense.
All right. So I'm not going to get it from a scalper, but I'm going to do whatever I can to get one. We'll see. And here's the truth. I'm not going to tell you anything.
Until he gets drunk at 4 a.m. and messages somebody on Twitter.
You're not going to know it all until launch day of Switch 2 if I'm actually getting a Switch 2. Because the moment that I tell you anything, someone will try to fuck with it and ruin it.
We will know at least a week in advance because he has such a stupid, rigid schedule that he will let us know, hey, I'm playing Mario Kart World and the demo Switch 2 game. He doesn't realize that everybody knows how he operates because he does the same pattern over and over and over again.
They've gone through every possible means, every level of committing crimes. Nothing is out of their reach to them. There's no morality. They're not even afraid of going to jail. They're not. They've done everything possible, so I'm not dumb. I know that if I mention any method by which I'm going to get a Switch 2, they're going to try to ruin it for me. All right?
You heard it straight from Phil. The detractors are going to go straight through the gate into Phil's front door, onto Phil's front door, and smash all of his packages so he won't be able to play the Switch 2. That's what's going to happen. Absolutely. And Phil's cameras will be in the wrong direction for some reason. So he won't be able to tell who did it.
So I'm not going to bring it up at all. You're not going to hear me talk about getting a Switch 2 until the launch day of Switch 2. And then on launch day of Switch 2, I'll tell you if I have it or if I didn't get it and what else we're doing that day.
Be very prepared for a crying session.
Okay? That's literally the only way to be safe. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, that's the only way to be safe at this point.
Don't be like Phil. Use protection.
Outside of that, there's nothing else I can do, right? So I'm sorry to those who want Phil to open up more, to be more interactive and to do these kind of things. I can't.
Yeah, we totally want to see you open up more. Go do the Oli Phils. Yeah, we totally want that. Are you kidding me? You can't film a video from your kitchen table? Are you kidding me? What have you got on there? Rabbits?
I literally can't because of these crazy people. I would love to do different kinds of content. I can't. They will hurt me.
These people are crazy and want to destroy me. That's why I'm staying on the internet.
As fucked as it sounds, they will go out of their way to hurt me and my family. It's proven. It's absolutely confirmed. At every single time that they have a chance to do it, they will do it. So that's that. So what I will say is, to those of you who are hoping I would get a Switch 2 pre-order, thanks.
Go fuck yourself unless you give me money right now. That's what he really means.
Thanks for the confidence. Thanks for the vote of positivity that you wanted to see me cover this thing on release day. I really wanted to. All right.
Translation. He really wanted the money that was going to come with it. Or that he thinks was going to come with it. Because the only thing his dents want is day one releases, apparently. Because Phil does not interact with them unless they give him money.
And I certainly hope that I can get it, but I just don't know how I'm going to get it right now. Just being honest, all right? And like I said, if and when I secure one, you will never know about it.
Yep, Phil is gonna secure one and strap it to his ass so nobody can take it away from him. That will be his Master King Snake Gambit.
From this moment on, don't ask me about the Switch 2.
Ban anyone that asks Phil about the Switch 2.
You'll know if I'm covering the Switch 2 on release day, June 5th, 2025. And until then, I got other shit to do. I'm busy. Don't fuck with me. Okay? All right. I've said what I had to say about the subject. I'm done with it now. All right. We're moving on. We got positive stuff to do today. Really positive stuff to do today.
Okay, so you ever felt like you've been gaslit for like 40 minutes? That is what's going on here. It's just so exhausting listening to him rant and rave and like make stuff up. I'm really skeptical about his version of events, and that's just Phil. Like, he makes getting his mail like this dangerous quest. He is completely out of his mind. Like, his local police department labeled him a 220. That's all that you really need to know about Phil. Like, he is always going to make himself look like the victim, and he's always going to make sure that you know that he is never at fault for anything. And this is what this whole thing feels like. It looks like what happened is that since he ordered 2 switches, Walmart canceled his order because of anti-scalping policies. But Phil has to make it like, oh, a troll got into my account and hacked it and so on and so forth. Like, is it possible that a troll did that? Yeah. But here, Phil, you showed them the confirmation number. So you have the confirmation number. You have the email that you probably showed too. You had the site that it was on. Like, you were setting yourself up to get trolled and hacked. How do you not realize that? You are just such an idiot. You live in your own bubble. Like, you know this. Like, you talk about this every day, and you're like, wait, that happened? How could it happen? And it's like, I think just Phil is running for cover and trying to make himself seem good. It's like with the Kino Casino thing where he tried to have Review Tech USA on and have this cope session. And it's like, hey, maybe somebody will join me and find the casino. And once his bubble got burst, he retreated back into his cocoon. And really, why did Phil do this? Well, he knows what his audience likes. His audience is motivated not by Phil, but by owning the trolls. That's it. They have no impetus to support Phil because they like him. They support Phil because they want to own the trolls. That's what they think, that's what matters. And Phil got over like $200 in support from the stream alone. That's Phil's bread and butter. That's why every day he has to tell his fans that 2 plus 2 equals 5. He is in a constant state of gaslighting people because he can't admit, like, hey, I did something wrong. I scammed my fans and cried poor for years and said I didn't have money to afford groceries, while at the same time he was spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on a mobile game. This is what he has to do. He has to prep his audience for every insane, stupid thing that he's going to do. And all the while, there are people clipping him and his delusions, and we're laughing at him. And Phil can't take being the butt of the joke. But he is the butt of the joke. And this is another Phil instance where Phil has to flip it and say that he was wronged so he can milk his fans for support. That's what this is all about. Like, he already had a video filmed, as he said, like, so why not just post it and that be it? Well, that's not drama. He has to create drama. Phil's whole channel is about his drama and whether his bills will be paid or not. That's what he's made his channel about. And that's why when he admitted to the WWE Champions thing, he lost supporters. So no, he's not better off than he's been before. He's worse off. Now we can say, like, look, I got my whole thing on Kick. Yeah, but you're having less views on YouTube than you've ever had. There are less people watching you now than there were a year ago. And there are less people watching you now than there were when you were on Twitch. Your views are crumbling. The interest in you is crumbling. The only people keeping you afloat on the internet are the people that are restreaming you and clipping you and making commentary videos about you because you have no idea how to grow an audience on your own. You got lucky, Phil. You built your audience during a time where there's either watch paint dry on YouTube or watch Phil. It's different in 2025. And you refuse to innovate whatsoever, and now you're just on your own island talking to 3 people. It's 3 horny men donating to you. That's it. And all they want to do is hear you beg. So you have to complain about the detractors and the trolls harming your business when they're the only ones keeping you afloat. It's you and your fragile ego that's sinking yourself. And you're never going to realize what's happening because things happen around you that you can't control and you want to control them, but they get the best of you time and time again. That's how it was, that's how it is, and that's how it will be as long as you're on the internet. But what I really think is going to happen is he's going to find a way to get a Switch 2 around launch. For all we know, it could be in the stores by then. And by that time, his fans will have forgotten this whole meltdown, that he even probably lied to them, and they'll be like, well, I have money, I'll give it to Phil. That's that. And so on and so forth. That's what always happens. I could harp on that for hours about Phil. But let's be real, we'll just be talking in circles. But if you've gotten this far, congratulations, because this was a long video. And if you want to see more about me talking about Phil, be sure to like and subscribe and check out my other content. I definitely appreciate you sticking around for this because this is basically like a live stream length video. And it's longer than the length of a Phil gameplay video, so I probably went overboard with doing this whole thing instead of trimming it down. But you just have to see the insanity of Phil because he'll say, oh, you took me out of context. You only showed 5 minutes of this. So therefore, your whole argument was invalid. That's what Phil does. All right, everybody. See you all next time.